my name is Amy with Your Story Writing Services, and I wanted to share a quick story with you before we get into the topic for today. So I bought these red jeans like 9 months ago. So excited about them. Bought them online, get them in the mail, which if you do online shopping, you understand how amazing it is, but the drawback is you can't try them on. So I get them in the mail and I'm pretty confident that they're gonna be great, and I already have my idea of what I'm gonna wear them with. So I get them, open up the package, pull the pants up, try to button them, cannot button them. Well, I could button them. Let me rephrase that. I could button them, but it was one of those, let me button them, and then oxygen's no longer coming to the brain and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So I was going to send them back, but then I do what some of us do and just say, okay, I'm gonna keep them, but I'm gonna lose a couple pounds and then I'll be able to get into them. The ironic part was that around the same time that I was buying the jeans, I wanted to start really laser focusing on my, on losing some weight, becoming healthier, and just becoming more organized and putting systems in place in my life to help me become healthier. So 9 months later, I pulled the jeans out again. Now, mind you, during the 9 months, I've joined CrossFit because I'm a huge believer in community and I love the community that's surrounding CrossFit. I joined Weight Watchers because I believe in community and I love the energy I receive once a week from this room filled with people who are encouraging each other. And then I've also tried to become more regimented in the meals and the food that I'm eating. So I pull these red jeans out. Now I've periodically tried them on, but they've just never fit, which was super frustrating. So this week I decided to pull them out again. Pull them out, and I was able to button them comfortably. And I was able to sit down and not feel like my lungs were being congested. Well, I guess it wouldn't be my lungs, my stomach, to the point of not being able to breathe. So I was so excited. But here's the crazy part. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I'm putting on these pants and I'm like, oh my gosh, they fit. But I shouldn't have been shocked because I had been working at this for 9 months to put on a pair of jeans and have them fit. And I started really thinking about the concept of progress. And I discovered some things that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm calling this the deceptive nature of progress. Because a lot of times in our lives, we are seeking to grow in some area. All of us have different areas that we're trying to excel at, and everybody's struggle is different. So, and everybody's goals are different. So we're always trying to improve in some area of our life. And a lot of times when it comes to progress, our progress, or I guess more specifically, the lack of progress, can be very deceptive and frustrating. So the first thing when it comes to progress is that progress is not always visibly progressive. And let me give you an example of that. So when I was a kid, I was always overweight. That's like my first memories were being overweight. And not in a sob story sort of way, but I spent the majority of my life being overweight, being the fat girl. But I was the funny fat girl. But more on that later. But I was always overweight. And I remember when I graduated high school and I was going into college and I was over 300 pounds. But I didn't know I was over 300 pounds because I never got on a scale. I just progressively got bigger. So one day I decided, you know what? I'm not going to spend the rest of my life being overweight and facing health problems. So I decided to join Weight Watchers. And when I joined Weight Watchers, I ended up losing 100 pounds in, I think it was about 2 to 2.5 years. Now here's the interesting part. While I was in Weight Watchers and I'm losing 100 pounds, which is literally another person, or 2 children, 2 50-pound children, or 1 rather lean 100-pound individual. That's how much weight I lost. But while I was losing weight, I didn't wake up every day and think, oh my gosh, I've lost 5 ounces today. Or, oh my gosh, I look 10 pounds lighter. Progress isn't always visibly evident every single day that you wake up. Sometimes it takes months before you see it. Like, it took me months to realize it. Even with my clothes fitting differently, I saw a picture of myself 6 months into the weight loss journey, and that's when I was shocked. That's when I was like, oh my gosh. Because I see myself every day, I don't see the progress every day. So in whatever area of your life that you're trying to progress, know that some days when you wake up, the heavens aren't going to open with a shining spotlight on you that says, today you have progressed. Today you are becoming better. And I see the difference in you. Some days you're going to wake up and you're going to look exactly like the person who laid their head down at night, the night before. And you're going to think, am I even progressing? Is this even worth it? Am I even moving forward? In fact, maybe I'm even moving backwards. But you must know that progress, when it occurs, it's sneaky. That's why I call it deceptive. It's sneaky. It's happening, but you might not be seeing it every single day. Sometimes it takes a while into the journey to see it. And because we can be impatient, it can become frustrating. Now, the second thing is, with progress, is that there's no guaranteed time frame. And I know that this might go against some of the things we believe about goals, because goals, when we set goals, we make them time sensitive, because if not, they become dreams that you never can measure. And there's nothing wrong with making goals time sensitive or making our growth points time sensitive, because it holds us accountable and it keeps us focused. But at the same time, when you're making time frames, don't get so caught up on the time frames that you punish yourself and you put yourself into a state of depression or frustration or condemnation because you're not going at the speed that you feel like you're going. I was helping this guy with some of his business homework, which I don't know why. I'm not good at I'm not good with technical language. It's just not my field. But I was studying the stock market, which is actually really interesting. And I was studying the concept of investors and how investors go about picking what they're going to invest in, because there is a science behind it, but it's not an exact science. So when investors deciding what kind of stock they want to put their money in, they use like a formula to figure out what's the amount of risk that this is going to cost me and what's my return going to be. So they have all these like mathematical equations, because they're figuring out, I don't want to buy a stock that's not going to bring me money. So once they pick a stock, they do all these mathematical equations that's going to say, yay, it's going to get you money, buy it. And they invest. But here's the thing. Even if all of the calculations said this is going to make you money, there's really no sure way of knowing it, because the market is fickle. Because let's say that you invest in Facebook, but a year later, the next best Facebook comes out. Nobody could have predicted it. It comes out of nowhere. If you invested in Facebook, you're screwed. You're not going to see the same returns because the market is fickle. It's the same thing when it comes to areas in our life that we want to improve. Put time frames on it, keep yourself focused, but at the same time, no, you can't predict the things that are going to happen in your life. You might say, I want to work out 5 days a week, but then something might happen. You might get injured, or your schedule might change that just doesn't make it possible for you to go that hard. Don't beat yourself up. Be flexible. Know when to pivot. Know when to change it up. And be okay with the flow of it, because that's what progress is asking you to do. You're not punishing yourself, let me say. Be flexible, because progress doesn't have a time frame guaranteed. Because even when you hit goals, you've never truly arrived. Now you're progressing on to the next goal, and you're progressing on to the next growth point. So it's always moving. The third thing is sometimes progress looks a lot like failure. And we think failure is the opposite of progress, but really the two go hand in hand. They complement each other. You can't have progress without failure. And I'm going to tell you why. I remember when my mom decided to go to college. My mom was not a college graduate, and she went straight from high school into a 9-to-5 type of job. And then she had kids, and she worked as a cashier at a grocery store for years. And then in her 40s, she had just this inner desire, inner passion that said, I want something more. So at 47 years old, my mom decided to go back to college and get her associate's degree and become a radiology technician. So my mom worked super hard, and I was so proud of her, still am. She went to school, going to college, still running the home. She had 3 kids. And she worked very hard. Well, she was supposed to graduate at a specific time frame. And before she graduated, she had to do something called clinicals, which is where you go to the hospital and it's like the hands-on. It's almost like being an intern. And while she was doing it, my mom faced a lot of anxiety. She would come home, be stressed because she felt pressure. She didn't feel confident. She felt insecure with being in the actual environment. There's a difference between what she learned in the books and then the actual on-the-job training. So my mom ended up not being able to pass her clinicals and graduate on time. And my mom was devastated. I mean, devastated. That was a failure for her. She felt like a failure. She came home and cried and just, why did I even start this? I knew it wouldn't work. And once she gathered herself and gathered her emotions, they gave her an extension for her to go back and continue doing her clinicals. And when she went back to do her clinicals, she said that it helped. It helped for her to go back and have to do her clinicals again because it helped her build her confidence. So even though that looked like failure, it actually ended up being progress for my mom because she had to stay in an environment that she was uncomfortable, that she was insecure. It forced her to grow even more. So when she actually got a job, she had enough confidence that she needed. So sometimes along your journey, failure is not failure. Really, it's just an opportunity for greater progress. The next thing is progress is infinite if we never quit. If we are always pushing, always striving, and always seeking to become better and to grow, progress is always infinite. Now, let me say this. In an effort to strive, I want to make this point because we hear a lot about striving, working, hustling, and I believe in all of those things. I believe in hard work, but at the same time, I think we can become so obsessed with the striving, the hustling, the working that we forget to enjoy the moment. Progress is about the confidence of knowing that you are growing, but not letting it consume your life. That every day you shouldn't wake up thinking, I can't wait until I am here, or I can't wait until I get to this point, then I can really start living, then I can really start enjoying life. No, enjoy life right now. Work at your goals, work to grow, but enjoy where you're at. Enjoy who you are. Don't condemn yourself for this point because this is a point in your progress. Today you are progressing, so enjoy the little progress that's today. Every day is a little bit of progress, but we're always moving. We're always growing if we never quit. If we keep moving towards what we believe we want to become in every area of our lives. And the last thing is progress is not connected to motivation or inspiration. It is connected to consistency. A lot of times when we feel really good about the progress that we're making, or if we look at all of the goals that we're achieving, then we celebrate progress. We think, oh, I'm progressing, and we get high off of those emotions. We want more of them. I mean, they feel good, right? So those emotions give us we want to keep going, keep growing. But what happens when those feelings aren't there? I remember when I started on my journey, after losing 100 pounds, my body kind of got tired and I hit a wall. And climbing over that wall, crashing through that wall has been very difficult. And there's been times when I've done everything I know is right to do. And I get on the scale, no pounds lost. Or I'm measuring myself, not a lot of inches gone. My clothes are fitting the same. And that is frustrating because I'm doing all the right things, so it should happen. So now I'm not motivated anymore. I'm not inspired. I'm pissed off. But that's not where progress is. Progress lies in consistency. So even if I don't feel it, even if I don't get the tingly, wonderful feelings of progress, and I just stay consistent and believe that if I continue to do the right things, that I am going to get where I'm going to go, that is the beauty of progress. That's when progress really is in action because you can stay focused. So you don't need all of those feelings and you don't need to think, I gotta get here at this point. I have to lose this amount of weight for this month, or I have to get to this business goal by next month. That you become so obsessed with it that you stop enjoying the journey, that you stress yourself out, that you condemn yourself, that you, you don't really enjoy your day-to-day activities. It becomes a chore as opposed to just enjoying life, and progress takes time, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're not on a timeline. Throw away the timelines that everybody puts us on. Just throw them away. Who even made them? Who said that this is when you have to do this? Even when it comes to, I know there's like a lot of pressure, especially even for women, for like relationships, that if you're not married by this age, then something's wrong with you. If you're not having kids by this age, then something's wrong with you. If you haven't established yourself in business at this age, then something's wrong with you. If you don't have this much money or these material things, then you haven't made it. Says who? Who made these timelines? Throw the timelines away. Your life is progressing at the speed that you need it to progress, and what you need to come into your life is coming at the speed in which you need it. Rest in that, and know that a lot of times the feelings of progress, the results of progress might not be there, but you have to trust that it's there. Trust that progress is occurring, and when you see it, when it becomes evident and you see the little bit of progress, celebrate. Yes, awesome, yes. But then go back to being consistent. Don't be so caught up in those feelings that it becomes a drug that you don't continue going because you don't always have those feelings. Just keep going, keep progressing, keep moving. Because it's worth it. It's worth it. You are worth it. So once again, my name is Amy. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. Share this with your friends. Watch it again. Encourage yourself and encourage somebody else. Have a wonderful day, and remember, your story is your most powerful asset. Use it, share it, and allow it to heal you and heal the world.